Yeah. What's good, everybody? It is your boy, Jamie, and
Carlene.
All right. And we are your couple mentors for the messy middle. And Carlene, I am happy to be here once again with you.
Mm-hmm.
Your beauty is just radiating.
Aw, thank you so much.
It feels good.
Good.
Yeah.
To hear that.
And I'm sure the people watching feel good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As they should.
That's right. So yeah, that's right. So it's another episode of Carlene plus Jaime, and we want to thank you all for watching us, for rocking with us, for subscribing to us, and commenting. So, last week, we had a little blooper where we were talking about dancing, and most of you, if you've seen the reel, Carlene throwing me shade about my dancing, but it's all good. One day I'm going to prove it to the people all over the world to show you how much of a dance aficionado I am, and an expert. I can do all genres. I'm just really good at it. But Carlene has failed to see that, as well as my rapping skills. But those are just some things that, those are the messy middle, the issues that we deal with. No, I'm just playing. Nevertheless, first of all, let me backtrack. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to all those that are watching us. Once again, the analytics are showing that about 67% of you that have tuned into our show are not subscribers. So we went from, I think we were at 756 last week.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 809.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so to the 50.
I didn't even know that, so I'm hearing that for the first time.
So, so that's what's up. To the 50-something people that subscribed, thank you for subscribing. And for the 67% that have not subscribed, yes, you can subscribe. It won't hurt you, really. But we thank you. We thank you. And knowing that there are people that believe in what we're doing, that are watching what we're doing, and hopefully you're getting some great advice, just perspectives that we have on our marriage and the years and the ups and downs that we've been through, that you are showing it by subscribing to our show. So thank you very much. And to the 67, please subscribe. Nevertheless, as we jump right into our episode this evening, if you've been watching the series for the last few weeks, you know that we've been curating a couple care menu. Mm-hmm. So as much as people talk about self-care, we understand that self-care is important, and we're not downplaying that, but we also know that couple care, I would believe, is just as important as well.
Yes.
And how are we showing up for each other, and how are we making sure that we're looking out for the best of each other with health and wealth and all those things. And we described the 3 P's of the couple care menu, and that is prayer, presence, and play. Mm-hmm. The 3 P's: prayer, presence, and play. It's like a tongue twister. I'm getting all mixed up right now. Mm-hmm. But as we discuss the messy middle, that we are, I'd say we are we still in the messy middle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So in this season of our marriage, we are in the messy middle. And one of the things that comes up in the messy middle is the topic or the issue of intimacy. Mm-hmm. Connecting with your partner, and on the sexual level, on the personal level, and just men are from Mars and women are from Venus, mm-hmm. right? And how do we get through that topic of intimacy that oftentimes is taboo, like people don't really talk about? I think in our marriage counseling, sex was like quick. We didn't dwell long on that topic, but it is a real part of our relationship. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Carlene, and dive right in however you want to.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I think I want to frame this conversation in a sense where the importance, it's almost like we did it backwards, but I think it's important to focus on how to reconnect with your spouse.
Yeah.
Right? How important it is. How as important as food is for your body, it's important for you as a couple, for us as a couple, to be able to have create moments to remain connected. Because without that connection, so many things can happen, right? So many things can be said, so many things can be unsaid, unspoken, because it's just life is just going. And so sometimes it's so hard to prioritize or focus on someone that's laying in the same bed with you.
Right.
And so just kind of want to frame the conversation around how important it is for couple care, because when you have couple care, when you take that time to curate that menu, it allows for intimacy to be something that happens in a it happens in a better space, opposed to in a space where you're kind of going. Life is moving so quickly, and then you find yourself months later and you haven't had sex.
Yeah.
Or you haven't been intimate with each other.
Yeah.
Because intimacy doesn't necessarily require penetration.
Penetration.
Sorry, thank you. My brain is going so fast and my words aren't as fast.
Take your time.
So yes, intimacy does not require penetration. It requires for some ability to be able to connect in real ways with your partner in order for that, in order for that climax, in order for that mountaintop experience to happen. For some, not all. Some people can just do and all is well.
Yeah.
But I'm finding more and more in my in this stage of my life. I'm in my mid-40s, and I essentially I just want more. I want more. I'm desiring more. And so I think it is important to kind of think through or think about or talk about, like, intimacy without connection feels empty, right? Intimacy without connection feels empty. It's not about checking a box or meeting an expectation. It's all about feeling seen, feeling valued, feeling safe with the person lying next to me, right? And at this stage, sex isn't just physical. It's a language of, I don't know what I would say. It's a language of love. It's a language of trust. It's a language of shared history. And so without that deep emotional connection, I feel like the experience can feel more like a transaction.
Right.
More than a celebration. And I think, like, today in our conversation, like, we're really trying to talk through about why women in their 40s, why it is that we sometimes crave that connection before intimacy.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, if I could jump in real quick.
Yes.
So brothers, let me paint a picture. And sisters, let me paint a picture. Have you ever experienced this? It's nighttime, about to go to sleep. You're feeling like you want to be intimate. You start rubbing your wife, you're close to her, you're rubbing next to her. Her back is turned to you, and you're giving all the signs of you want to be intimate. And then you hear those 3 words.
So it's 3. You count?
Yes.
You've counted those 3 words?
I've counted those 3 words. And those 3 words are, I am tired. Or maybe another scenario is all day you have been anticipating this. You all have been talking, texting from the morning. It's been like, yo, I can't wait till we get home. If you have kids, you can't wait till they go to sleep. And you get home, you get on the bed, you're in the room, maybe she comes out the shower, whatever, you ready to go. And honey, I had a long day today. It was stressful, and not tonight, but I'm gonna hook you up tomorrow. Tomorrow comes, and then tomorrow goes. So I'm painting the picture of what happens in that moment when, like, I'm tired, or even if you're not tired, that, the man may want to be ready to get it in with his wife, and
literally figurative.
Yeah, exactly. You know what you mean. And then you're just like, you're not feeling it, or you're not even like initiating it, right? So I guess that kind of paints the picture that you were painting before. Is it the emotional? Is it the physical? Is it that lack of connection? Like, if you can answer for me and for the brothers that are out there, what are some of the things that lead to those type of outcomes?
I think you just said it. You said it all.
I did?
In those, yes, you basically said it all in terms of what it is that may be a response of the wife, or sometimes even the husband, when the spouse is initiating sex, essentially, what may be what may be something that may be an issue for why that response isn't hell yeah, let's go, all the time. It's that delay, or it's that no, not yet, no, I'm tired, let's try again tomorrow. So I think you just answered it, where you said it was an emotional, a lack of emotional connection. You said physical, lack of physical connection or physical changes. You kind of answered the question, but I'll go a little bit more.
Okay, yeah,
and dive a little bit more into it, because you literally just said.
Because I'm a look right at this camera. I have no clue what I just said.
Okay,
I do not know what to do. So you have to explain.
That's cool.
What a brother just said.
That's cool. I think there are a lot of variations that contribute to the I don't know, or not I don't know, not tonight, I'm tired, maybe tomorrow night, I got you tomorrow night, or I got you, just wake me up in the morning and I'll be ready for you. I think there's just so many different variables that contribute to that question, that response. And it's not just that. I think, personally speaking, for me, sometimes there are so many things that I'm juggling in my mind. And because sometimes there's a disconnect with myself, emotionally, like if I'm juggling a lot of things at the same time, and you're asking me to do this act, it's not that my desire is there, I want to do it, but my mind isn't. And I understand that my mind has to be able to connect with what it is. My emotions has to connect with what it is with the act, essentially. That's what I'm trying to say. And sometimes there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect. So there's so many contributing factors. I mean, like, I think I would sit here all night talking through what the different factors are, because I think they're different for some women. It's based on age, it's based on experience, it's based on life challenges or stressors, because all those things can potentially contribute to the response of, I'm tired.
So do you want me to know, or should I have some sort of like telekinetic power to know when to observe when we're disconnected, or so that I don't try to initiate, or I don't try to do that? Is it that you want me to be able to understand and to read your emotions mentally, so that it doesn't end up saying I don't want to, or I'm too tired?
I think, honestly, before, I would probably say that I want you to be able to read that. I want you to be able to read me enough for you to be able to know for sure that this is not a good time. You know the stress I'm dealing with, all the things. And so for you to ask for something that's requiring even more work, or more, it's requiring more of me. It's almost like, why would you ask me to do that? And you know very well what I'm going through at work, or what I'm going through with the kids, or what I'm going through here or going through there. But I understand, and as I mature as a woman, as a wife, I think trying to have you kind of sort of guesstimate, like, or for you to kind of know exactly what's happening, and for you to be able to know that, I think is kind of unfair. I think the fair thing would be, in this mature state, would say, no, I need to express it to you. I need to let you know. You need to be aware of what those stressors are. And you can be able to say, you know what, I'm not even going to try to ask, because I know exactly what it is that so you don't have to guess it. You kind of almost know, because I'm telling you I'm stressed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you I don't feel like doing this act, or I said act. I don't feel like having sex, or saying I don't feel connected. I don't feel like we're connecting. I feel like there's like our frequency is not, it's just not gelling. You know what I mean? That's what I think.
Yeah, and to your point that you made earlier, if we are doing the couple care menu and following the P's, and particularly presence, then in our conversations, I should know what you're going through.
Correct.
To be able to determine, to say, tonight's not a good night for that, right? Or to be able to say, or even to ask, right? Rather than to try to do things, to just be like, are you in the mood? And you say no, then okay, I get it. But I believe that if you're as a couple and you are talking and you're connecting, then I should be able to understand, like, okay, let me back off.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, you have to also consider hormonal changes, right? Perimenopausal, menopause, like all of those things affect you, your libido, like all those things affect your body. And so it affects, even your ability to rest or inability to rest. You know what I mean? Like if you're not resting, your mind is always going, you're thinking about so many things. It's hard for you to relax and think about sex. I know that if there's a shift in my estrogen, right? Or so many different hormones, that they can definitely reduce that spontaneity, right? Spontaneity in how it is that I want to be pleasured in those moments.
Yeah.
I know physical changes too, like as a woman, like whether it's sometimes vaginal dryness or discomfort during intercourse, like all of those things contribute as a result of hormones and all those things. So I think that it's not just, I don't think it's just one thing or one, I think it's just a number of things that help contribute to the I'm tired. Because I'm tired could be, I'm letting you know I am physically tired, but I'm also mentally tired, or I'm also emotionally tired, or I'm just plain old, I'm just tired.
Wow. So that's good, because like, I think maybe this is like revealing to me, because to be able to understand that I'm tired is more, it's the difference between hearing and listening.
True.
Right? So like I can hear I'm tired and then just be like, whatever. But if I'm listening to you say I'm tired, then I'll be able to, I guess, maybe a little bit understand, like, this isn't just like sleepiness. This is fatigue. This is like, I feel like I'm carrying the weight of the world. And if I do this with you now, it is not going to be the experience that I probably think would be satisfying for you, or even satisfying for me. And so I think like that's like a revelation to me. I mean, it shouldn't be, but it's like, thank you for saying that, because it helps me and hopefully some other brothers out there to understand that I'm tired is not just I'm sleepy. I'm tired can be 1,000,001 different things.
Correct.
And maybe it's up to me to kind of ask the question, unpack that. And
Yes.
or if you say tomorrow, we can talk about it tomorrow, but just unpack what that I'm tired is.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that has helped you and I is communication.
Yeah.
And how we communicate to each other and what we communicate to each other, so that the initial feeling could be when I say I'm tired or you say I'm tired, right, is rejection, right? You feel rejection. You feel like, man, I just feel rejected. Like I want to jump on her. I want to jump on him, but I'm feeling that rejection. So do you stay in that rejection, or do you say, you know what, it has to be something more? Because I know that we've connected with each other in other ways. I know that emotionally we're talking, we have our couple care menu, we're checking off the box of, yeah, we're doing this, we're doing that. However, because we communicate so well, it definitely allows us to for the focus not to be you spiraling into rejection, but you saying, you know what, I get it.
Yeah.
Or I can almost understand, or let's talk about how what it is that I can do to alleviate the stress, or what can we create to create the intimate, us being intimate with each other.
Yeah.
And so I also want to bring into the conversation understanding. Did you have something to say?
No,
Okay,
I'm just listening.
Understanding responsive desire. I don't know if you've ever heard of that concept, but essentially responsive desire is a term from, I believe it's from Dr. Rosemary Basson, that describes a pattern of sexual interest where desire is triggered by emotional connection, touch, or context rather than arising spontaneous. There it is. Spontaneously. Mercy. So spontaneous desire. So it feels like it comes out of nowhere.
Okay.
So often more common in men and in the early stages of relationships. Versus responsive desire is where it tends to emerge in response to physical closeness, emotional intimacy, or feeling desired. Most common in women, especially in long-term relationships and after hormonal shifts. So a lot of women in their 40s, like myself, we may not start out feeling in the mood, but if our partner invests in emotional connection, affection, and a relaxed environment, that desire can grow during the encounter.
Okay. I mean, that makes sense.
So if the connection is missing, the spark never ignites. So rejecting sex isn't about not loving your spouse, but more about needing the right emotional relational conditions first.
Yeah, that's good, because I agree with the fact that I think men are just naturally visual creatures, right? And so like I've seen like the reels on Instagram where it's like my wife is taking a shower and my husband is like staring at me, or if you wear a certain pajama tells me what kind of mood you're in, or what kind of, it can put me in a mood, right? Because we're triggered by vision, right? Like that's what gets to us. And so understanding that for women, it's more of a touch, it's more of a sensual kind of what's the word? Not reaction, but a sensual act, right? Like it's a buildup to get to that.
Yes.
To where men already are.
Correct. Because for you, your trigger might be a fantasy, or your trigger might be random thoughts, right? And we know your thoughts are random.
Right.
It could be hormones. It could be something that's internal. Versus a woman, it's more about feeling valued. It's about feeling seen and heard, and knowing that that there is an emotional connection, right? So it's not just what I'm feeling in terms of like a fantasy or something. And not to say that women are excluded from that trigger. But I think for me, and maybe some women out there, they may feel that their triggers are different than what a man is triggered by.
Yeah.
And so just being able to respond appropriately to those triggers and knowing that, okay, you are feeling that. How can we essentially get on the same page?
Yeah.
Where we're feeling the ability or the need to be intimate in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like, I want to say that you are not speaking on behalf of all women.
I am not. I am not.
That's right. And I'm not speaking on behalf of all men. But what I'm hearing you say is that intimacy requires more than just, or getting in the mood, for you at least, requires more than just, like, yo, we got 5 minutes. Let's go ahead. Even though sometimes there's room for that at times, but that it's a buildup. It's a conversation. It's listening. It's making time to hear, to listen, and to feel you. And also knowing what your love language is. I think those are valuable things that I never knew prior to marriage. Because my cues or my understanding of how intimacy happens between a husband and wife comes from movies, comes from songs, and comes from pornography. So no one's ever sat me down and explained to me, like, hey, son, or hey, young man, women are wired differently from men. And that in your marriage, don't think that it's going to be every day, wham, bam, thank you, bam. Like, or every morning or whenever you want it, it's going to be that there needs to be, that you have to understand what intimacy is.
Yeah. And I think, not to say that it does not exist in the early stages of a marriage, but I feel like in the middle, it happens more because there's so many different changes happening, right? So many changes happening. There's children, there's career changes or transitions. There's, you're now doing big grown-up things, right?
Yeah.
And life just gets to going. And so really being able to focus on each other and focusing on creating intimacy the way that works best for you and your spouse. There's something while you were talking, I wanted to add, like, for me, I love a slow buildup. And I think I would compare it almost to like a slow cooker. Yeah. Right? You put that thing on, you add all the ingredients in there, and you turn on the pot, whatever, you flip on the switch so that it can start cooking. And then it takes longer, but the juices get to going, the spices and the seasonings are blending, opposed to a gas stove where, you want to cook something real quick. The fire is instant, it's spontaneous. However, it's so quick that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm more of a slow cooker than a gas stove. Yeah. Where I love to be wined and dined. I want to have deeper connections with you. And when I feel more connected to you, I feel like our experience together is that much more deeper and sensual and beautiful, where it just doesn't seem as a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of situation, but it feels more like it's the cherry on top. It's the icing on the cake. Is that peak, right? That, look at your face. Is that peak?
No, I got something to say.
It's the peak of, it's the peak for me that, I don't know, there's nothing like that feeling of being able to be connected to you emotionally and physically in an intimate way. Like that right there for me is chef's kiss on 1,000.
Yeah. And I would say I like that too. I'd say as a man, I like that. I like and I think when we do our next episode, from my perspective, we'll talk more about that. But what you said, I like, and that, and probably even more. The reality sometimes, though, is create those moments can be difficult because somebody's probably watching and they're probably in the same situation we are. We have kids, we have jobs, we have school, we have multiple things happening. And by the time you finish working that 9 to 5 and you get home, it's eat dinner and it's like time to go to bed, right? So it's like, I think the point that I'm getting to is for something like that, we have to be intentional
Yes.
about creating space or making space to do that. Because there's also, too, you in one room, the kids in another room, right? So how do we create opportunities to do that? Like, being intentional about a babysitter or being intentional about, going somewhere. And so those are part of the, I guess, what you were talking about earlier about the presence and the conversation. Because I'm sure there are, I'll say me and a lot of other brothers that want that too, that want to create that. But like you said at the beginning, it's just life be lifing. There's a lot going on with careers and this messy middle sometimes to find and create the space to do that. It's not always there unless you're intentional about creating it.
You have to be. If you're not, then honestly, it won't go well.
Yeah.
Right. And there are, it gets to that point where you're just like, it's either I do this or.
Yeah.
You know
and there
what I
are
mean?
consequences.
Yeah, there are definitely
Right.
consequences. So I think it's one, understanding where your spouse is, right? Where's your spouse mentally? Because I know for me, my mental is connected to feeling the desire to want to be intimate.
Yeah.
I think younger me would be very much like, okay, it's fun, it's quick, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's not to say that those aren't exciting or whatever. It's just that this messy middle, of our lives, it just feels sometimes that I'm desiring more.
Yeah.
As I said at the beginning, like it's just requiring that I want more.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
And
deserve
I
more.
require more.
Right.
And so the things that I faced in my 30s is not the same things that I'm facing now in my 40s. And so just talking through all those things, I think it's just so important to talk it through, to communicate, and to be on the same page. You may not agree. You may not agree with it. You may not be on the same page as it relates to copy and paste, but it can be at least where you have an understanding or an appreciation for your spouse to say, okay, I see what you're saying. Like you say you're tired, but I get it. I understand. I'm disappointed. I'm in my feelings a little bit, but I am, I understand it. And I'm not going to press it. I'm not going to get my feelings. I'm not going to, even if I get my feelings, I'm not going to stay there too long because I know that there is a lot going on with you.
Yeah. And I think you have to create room for everything, right? Well, not everything, but to switch things up too, right? I think there needs to be room for the spontaneity.
See, I'm struggling with spontaneously and spontaneity.
Quick, and room for the slow and steady, right? And I think I forgot the point that I was going to make earlier, but just understanding, knowing, and talking to each other and communicating throughout. And that one thing as a male that I understood being married to you for all these years is that intimacy begins before the bedroom.
It does.
And it begins maybe while you're at work with a text message or while we're driving home, that it doesn't just start as soon as she comes out you come out the shower or you're in the bed. And being able to understand you. Oh, that's the point. And being able to understand you. And the point that I was going to make is that you were bringing up in the early stages of our marriage to where we are right now in the middle. We change, right? We grow, our bodies change. The way we want to be touched and handled changes. We begin to learn more about our bodies and certain things we like and certain things we don't like. And that's why those conversations have to be important.
Yeah.
Because it is never good for one partner to be growing or to be changing and leaving the other one behind, because there are consequences, and it leaves the door open for the invitation of things into the marriage that should never be there when we're not communicating and when we're not talking.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I definitely think that when you understand that part about, I think two things. When you understand, one, that your marriage, your spouse, that whatever works best for you works best for you.
Yeah.
Right? That's the first thing. And I think the second thing is being able to communicate what those desires are, what those changes are.
Yeah.
Because sometimes a lot of us have issues or a hard time. Let me speak for myself. Sometimes in the past, I had a hard time being able to communicate to you to say what works versus what doesn't work, especially as it relates to sex, right? Because that's just a thing where you're not 100% sure. You get it from other sources. And so it's almost like the reality versus the fantasy, or or what it was that you saw, or what it was that you were taught. And so I think being able to communicate in clear ways, and sometimes in unclear ways, where you kind of have to have multiple conversations about what works for you and your spouse versus what does not work for you and your spouse.
Right.
Because I think that is probably where it's at.
Yeah.
Where that connection begins to really make form or take shape, when you understand, like, yo, Jaime, please stop doing that, or Jaime, please do more of that, right? Or even before the intimacy, where I can say, no, I want you to, let's hold hands, or let's kiss a little bit longer, or let's go for a walk, right? I know for me personally that when I feel seen by you, when I feel like you see me and you see the desire, you also see my love for you, and you know that you're not going to create a narrative about anything, like you're gonna say, like, no, this is what I know that's true about what Carlene is experiencing, what Carlene is going through, and I'm here to support her. I'm here to love her through. I'm here to pray her through. Like, that for me is
chef's kiss.
Where it connects.
Yeah.
Where it connects.
And I think the point is, you have to talk. You have to communicate. And you can't assume the other partner knows. Because for me, for a long time in our marriage, I did not know.
You did not.
I didn't know what you liked or what you didn't like or what is intimacy. And I think that in a marriage, it's couples, it's each other helping each other understand what works and what doesn't work, what's okay from what's not okay. Because I'm coming in with cues from everything, but from a real person. Everything is either a song, which is necessarily not true. Pornography is an act. Movies are an act. And it's not. It's far from the reality.
Right.
Vice versa, you may be coming in too with, if you've never had that conversation or not knowing that, and you might assume, oh, he knows what to do, or I assume she's going to tell me what to do. And I think that we have to know, like, and this is for anybody who's probably maybe 5 years in or 1 to 5 years in their marriage. Take it from us. Have those conversations. Talk through it. Talk after. Talk before. Talk whenever you can talk, because it's really going to help you in the area of intimacy throughout your marriage.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. So this conversation, as we wrap it up, never mind. I was going to say something else.
You got to rhyme?
No, I was going to rhyme, but I was like, there's a lot of other things we wrap up, but never mind.
Okay. All right. Boom.
That wasn't funny. No. Yeah, I wasn't trying to make a joke, but that's what came to my brain. Okay. All right. And we're back.
You're back. Action.
What kind of action? Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Are you tired?
Am I tired? Okay.
Cut the cameras off.
All right. I mean, we can.
All right. Thank you for watching us tonight. We'll be back next week.
The fastest wrap up ever.
That's right. Watch us next week. We're going to talk about the male perspective, and you can get everything from there. All right. This is your boy Jamie.
Wait, stop. Stop trying to rush us off.
No, okay.
You said what?
I said okay.
All right. But in all seriousness, we essentially wanted to bring this conversation to the forefront, because we know that, again, the middle is what is defined as, you're not on honeymoon, you're no longer in the honeymoon season, and you're not seasoned in wisdom in your marriage, right? Like, you're just kind of in this middle and trying to figure things out, where there's kind of sometimes a lull in your rhythm as a couple, and life is coming at you, and you're really trying to have a strong, healthy relationship with your spouse. You're trying to maintain that. And so with our couple care menu and talking through how to keep that connection in this middle season of your marriage, and how it affects, right? How it can affect the intimacy part of your marriage as well. And so I think this conversation is one that we're going to next week, as Jamie just mentioned, that we're going to go ahead and talk about it. His perspective, you guys heard a bit of my perspective, or like the female's perspective, in terms of like that intimacy piece of how it requires just more than a spontaneous act, how it's almost like that slow cooker or like the pressure cooker, where it requires a little bit more emotional connection, where of course hormones and all those things are happening, and you're really trying to figure out, like, not even try to figure out, you're just really going through so many different stages, and there's career transitions, there's so many things that are happening. You're wanting to be intimate with your spouse, but that desire is not there, like that feeling is not there. You're just tired, and you're trying to figure out how to stay connected in that intimate way. And so we hope this episode gave you, if you're a woman and you're watching, you're just like, yeah, that's me. Like, I definitely am feeling that. Or if you are male and you're just like, I'm not sure why my wife is, it feels like my wife is constantly rejecting me and rejecting the need for intimacy in that sense. I hope that this gave you a little bit of clarity, or a lot of clarity regarding that, and the next steps that you can take to ensure that you don't get stuck, that you don't feel stuck, and you don't feel as though you're not seen or heard or valued. We hope that having us talking through, like, communicating exactly what is on your mind as it relates to life as it relates to intimacy, as it relates to everything. Just communicate. It's just so important to sustaining a healthy, strong marriage. But yeah, so next week we are going to come back with another episode talking about the man's perspective. What is the buildup, right? From that spontaneous ask of, it's not even a spontaneous ask. Well, I guess it's spontaneous, but you're not necessarily asking in words, because you usually don't ask in words. You usually ask by touch.
Right.
And so what does the male, what goes on in the male mind when before the ask, during the ask, and after the ask?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to know.
We're gonna unpack it, and we're gonna talk about it.
And I can't wait.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's hard for me to understand to what that looks like.
Right. So tune in next week. We'll be ready to talk about it, and hope that you enjoyed this conversation. I hope that it was helpful. And if you stayed with us until the end and you haven't subscribed yet, then what are you waiting for? If you watched the whole thing, then you should subscribe. But we thank you for rocking with us. We thank you for spending your whatever evening or day or whenever you're watching this with Carlene plus Jaime. And we look forward to having more great conversations about the messy middle.
Yes. Have a wonderful evening. We love you guys. Peace.